Namaste. Tomorrow is a beautiful day. Tomorrow is Vata Savitri Day, or also known as Vata Purnima Day. It is a day when a married woman ties a knot, a ceremonial knot, around the banyan tree, and she fasts for the entire day for her husband's long life. It is a festival day, it's a day of celebration. It's a day when a married woman takes certain efforts for the well-being of her husband. It is celebrated in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and some parts of North India. Marriage primarily comes under the domain of Venus, and that is how from today onwards I am starting a new series, Venus in 12 Signs. In this episode I will be talking more on Venus in Aries sign. What happens when Venus falls in the sign of Aries? Aries, as you all know, is a sign of Mars. Venus, the planet Venus, is all about love. Mars is direct. And so when Venus falls in Aries, then the person is also very direct when it comes to the matters of love. He will not run around the bush. If he loves you, he will spontaneously just say those three magical words, I love you. Straight from the heart. There is no running around the bush. And so, there are many more such interesting facts that I have shared in this podcast. As well as you will come to know about some interesting personalities that are born or that were born with Venus in Aries sign. In the sign of Aries, 3 nakshatras, Ashwini, all the 4 padas, Bharani, all the 4 padas, whereas Kritika, only the first pada falls in the sign of Aries. What happens when Venus falls in these nakshatras of Aries? Let's find out as I share certain facts and interesting things about Venus in Aries sign. So let's begin. When you love, you simply love. That's how a Venus Aries native is. There is no thinking, no logic, no questions, no doubts. They simply fall in love, and then there is no looking back. The beautiful song of George Benson, Nothing Going to Change My Love for You. You ought to know how much I love you, reflects the very essence of Venus in Aries. Then this love can be for mother, lover, or for the motherland. But once they are in love, they march ahead like a soldier, without fearing the outcome, without bothering about what will happen to them. They are the ones who can sacrifice themselves for love. To them, sacrificing life for love is worth it. There was a young military man. He must be a Venus Aries person, because when his friend was missing, he said to his senior commanding officer, "Sir, my friend has not yet returned to the trench. I want to go out on the battlefield and bring him back." A fierce battle was going on. The enemy was firing madly. The senior commanding officer said, "No, this is foolish." But he doesn't listen to the officer. He goes. It is very difficult in the dark, and there are thousands of dead bodies all around. He looks and looks, and in the middle of the night he returns, dragging his friend's dead body on his back. He himself is now terribly wounded. He cannot survive. The moment he reaches the trench, he falls on the floor with the body of his dead friend. The commanding officer comes and says, "I told you not to be foolish. It was not worth it. Now you know what you have done to yourself. The friend is dead and you are also dying." The dying man opened his eyes and he said, "But it was worth it, because when I went there, he looked at me and he said, 'Ram, I knew you would come.'" This is how the emotions, Venus in Aries, manifest. The person doesn't care about himself when it comes to love, when it comes to friendship, when it comes to the pride of his community, when it comes to the pride of his nation. Adolf Hitler was born with Venus in Aries, and though he is being labeled as a bad man, still his intense love for his countrymen cannot be ignored. Also, when it comes to his personal love relationship, his commitment to Eva Braun is something truly admirable than otherwise. It is said that just 40 minutes before committing suicide, Adolf Hitler married Eva Braun, the love of his life. That is how deeply intense and committed these natives are. But you can understand them only when you keep aside your preconceived notions and ideas about them. I like Venus in Aries natives because they don't spend time running around the bush. If they fall in love, then they will spontaneously express their love without thinking of the consequences. In fact, a woman with Venus in Aries may even fall in love with a married person. And you should not blame her, because love knows no logic, no boundaries. Similarly, a man with Venus in Aries may fall in love with a married woman, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it, because love can happen anytime with anyone. Love wells up from the depth of your heart, and the heart knows no logic and rarely corresponds with the brain. The pundits and the priests and the Pope have made love a complicated subject, when in reality, love is the simplest one. It is just like a beautiful flower that blooms in the morning and by evening it is gone. You never know when love happens, and you also don't know when love disappears. Love is blocked, love is denied, love is opposed because of the so-called morality of this society. But the larger question is, how real is this morality of the society? Jiddu Krishnamurti says we have created society and that society has conditioned us. Our minds are tortured and heavily conditioned by a morality that is not moral. The morality of the society is immorality because society admits and encourages violence, greed, competition, ambition, and so on, which are essentially immoral. There is no love, consideration, affection, or tenderness, and the moral respectability of the society is utterly disorderly. A mind that has been trained for thousands of years to accept, obey, and conform cannot possibly be highly sensitive and therefore highly virtuous. We are caught in this trap. Remember, to deny all morality is to be moral. For the accepted morality is the morality of respectability, and I am afraid we all crave to be respected, which is to be recognized as good citizens in a rotten society. Respectability is very profitable and ensures you a good job and a steady income. The accepted morality of greed, jealousy, and hate is the way of the establishment. When you totally deny all this, not with your lips but with your heart, then you are really moral. This morality springs out of love and not out of any motive of profit, of achievement, of place in the hierarchy. There cannot be this love if you belong to a society in which you want to find fame, recognition, or position. Since there is no love in this, its morality is immorality. When you deny all this from the very bottom of your heart, then there is a virtue that is encompassed by love. This society is fake, rotten, and filled with hypocrisy. And you want to follow the morality led by such a rotten, hypocrite society? Do you want to entertain the lectures on love given by such a fake society? A real evolved soul having Venus in Aries will never ever succumb to the pressure of this fake society. He will do what he is supposed to do. The great spiritual master Neem Karoli Baba says, there are people who get exactly what they want. You think they are the lucky ones, but they are not. The lucky ones are those who do what they are meant to do. And so an evolved soul does not care much about the society-led norms and conditions. He simply lives his life by being himself and by doing what he is meant to do. Rabindranath Tagore, the finest mind and one of the greatest poets of this century, also had Venus in the Aries sign. And it is important to note that though he was not actively involved in politics, still he played a vital role in the freedom movement of India. Tagore had pointed out the many flaws of the Congress party, though he has been a great admirer of Mahatma Gandhi and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. In his book Nationalism, Tagore criticizes Congress. He emphasized that the freedom movement must start from the grassroots of the society and not just remain confined to the elite class of the society. It is said that Rabindranath Tagore received the Nobel Prize because of his connection with the world-famous poet of those times, W.B. Yeats. However, that is just a myth. Tagore won the Nobel Prize purely based on his merits and his great poetic talent. Interestingly, the Irish poet W.B. Yeats also had Venus in the Aries sign. So the greatest poets of those times, Rabindranath Tagore and W.B. Yeats, both had Venus in the Aries sign. Aries is a sign that gives a perfect platform to express oneself with ease. And so poets and writers and even actors and actresses do well with Venus in Aries. In fact, Venus in Aries is a highly sexy position for Venus. And when it comes to sex appeal, how can we forget the greatest sexy and charming Hollywood actress, Marilyn Monroe? Marilyn Monroe also had Venus in Aries, a very sexy woman and a talented actress. In fact, she became a legendary Hollywood actress of those times. Although she had a share of fame and wealth in her name, still she died at a very young age of 36. In fact, she committed suicide by taking an overdose of 40 pills. It is said that she was found nude and dead on her bed with her hands on the phone. On August 6, 1962, the front page of the New York Mirror had the headline, Marilyn Monroe kills self, found nude in bed, hands on phone, took 40 pills. Venus in Aries is very candid when it comes to matters of love. If they succeed in their love relationship, they will celebrate with much hype. However, if they constantly fail in their love relationships, then one day they may succumb to the idea of committing suicide. Venus in Aries is a high voltage sensitive placement. It is simply a make or break situation. Marilyn Monroe had multiple marriages and relationships, and all of them failed in the end, finally pushing her to the state of utter depression, which led her to an impulsive act of committing suicide. Fire signs are just like fire, hot, action-oriented, and straightforward. These signs are highly romantic by nature. The word romance is defined as being adventurous, and so a lot of drama and a lot of masalas, spice, is seen when Venus falls in Aries, since Aries is the very first fire sign of our galaxy. A woman having Venus in Aries is indeed very hot and full of drama. Similarly, a man with Venus in Aries is very hot, dashing, and sporty by nature. He is not interested in running around the bush. Whatever is his feelings, he will express them spontaneously. Zinda Dil, meaning a lively person, is what you get with Venus in the Aries sign. It is fun to be with a woman or man having Venus in Aries, especially if their chart has a certain quality to it. These are fun-loving people and they like to take risks in love relationships. Aries Venus native is generally found to be honest and sincere in the matters of love. However, if you try to rub them in the wrong way, then they will not take much time in saying that one word that leads to a final breakup. The word goodbye. Aries Venus native is a highly impulsive person, especially in matters of love and sex. And so when it comes to love or sex, he or she will not spend much time thinking. They like to act, they like action and not just discussion. Aries Venus woman is turned off when her lover is not action oriented. She expects her lover to kiss her, to play with her. But if the lover is dull and fearful, then she is turned off. She likes to have someone who will express his love through a physical touch, a kiss, a tight hug, a smooch. This is what she likes. She is not happy with a discussion. She wants real action. Similarly, Aries Venus man loves an action-oriented woman. If the woman is too reserved about not having any physical contact, or if she is too fearful of expressing her feelings, then Aries Venus man is turned off. Aries Venus man loves to display himself as a hero. He wants to dance, he wants to play, he wants to enjoy life by dancing in the rains. And so if such a man is forced to marry a woman having Venus in watery signs, then you can understand how difficult it would be for him to spend his whole life with someone who is too emotional and sensitive by nature. I will now quickly talk about Venus in the nakshatras that fall in Aries sign. Venus in Ashwini is a total mad person when it comes to love. Mad in the sense he can do anything for the love of his life. He is the perfect lover. He will jump first and think later. Venus in Ashwini brings a certain attraction towards horses. Prince Philip, the husband of the ruling Queen Elizabeth of England, also had Aries Venus in Ashwini Nakshatra. And he was a great lover of the horse. Interestingly, he was never addressed as King of England, though he was married to the Queen of England, because of a rule that states the husband of a ruling queen is called Prince Consort, just as wives of kings are typically referred to as Queen Consort. It was his love for the horses that he popularized both polo and carriage driving in England. In fact, the Queen of England, his wife, also loves horses. Ashwini has a very close connection with horses. Venus signifies love, and Venus in Ashwini signifies love for the horses. Venus in Bharani is a highly romantic person by heart. The native is a born poet or a gifted writer. Rabindranath Tagore had Aries Venus in Bharani Nakshatra. Many a time a person having Venus in Bharani is blessed with many luxuries of life. Such a man or woman is indeed a blessing for any family. They are like a ripe mango, sweet and appealing to others. Venus in Bharani brings a certain artistic talent. The native takes great interest in dancing, singing, playing music and cooking. In fact, many great cooks are born with this placement. If your wife has this placement, then either she is a good cook or she is highly romantic by nature. Venus in Bharani brings a strong sexual urge, and the native indeed looks sexy as well as also appears sexy to others. Bharani is the most blessed star when it comes to the matter of pregnancy. And so woman with this placement is highly fertile. In the case of men, this Venus gives good fertility and a good sperm count. And so conceiving a child is easy with this placement. Overall, this is one of the most fortunate positions for Venus in Aries. When it comes to Kritika, it is necessary to note that only the first pada of Kritika falls in Aries sign. Venus in Kritika Aries sign, the person is blessed with good administrative skills. This placement has a tendency to mix pleasures with work. Thomas Jefferson was born with Venus in Kritika. He was the third US president and one of the founding fathers of the United States of America. Venus in Sun's Kritika is not a very comfortable position. And so the qualities of Venus are not fully experienced or seen. However, this placement does well in providing all kinds of support when it comes to growth in career or attaining success in work. However, when Venus falls in the Taurus Kritika Nakshatra, then the nature of this placement changes altogether. I will be sharing more about this in my next video. Overall, when it comes to the matters of love and sex, Venus in Aries is a more action-oriented native whose focus is on doing and not just talking. Just do it is the favorite slogan of these natives. I suppose the man who invented this slogan must be an Aries Venus native. Just do it. That is also the slogan of the famous sports brand Nike. Talk less and do more is the essence of this placement. And so, sex is quick with more action and less talking. Similarly, breakups are also quick. Everything is quick. Quickly falling in love, quickly getting physical, quickly getting angry, and quickly getting out of a relationship. When it comes to Venus Aries, everything is on the fast track. The love story of their life is full of spices, action, and adventures. There is a lot of passion, a lot of dedication, and a lot of energy that goes in their relationship. However, it is not long lasting. After a while, they lose interest just to find yet another Hema or yet another Raj with whom a new love story begins, with a promise of more spice, more drama, and more adventure. The life movie of Venus Aries is always on the run. It never will be stagnant unless there is a planet that would switch off. Else, the drama, the spice, the love, and the story continues. Venus in Aries primarily gives a healthy body, and the person rarely gets sick or is grasped by diseases. This is in fact a disease-free placement, especially if Venus is not afflicted by Mars, Rahu, or Ketu. Overall, it is always nice to come across a woman having Venus in Aries or a man having Venus in Aries. Their emotions are not entangled with confused thoughts. They are very clear about their emotion and very straight in expressing their emotions. The Martian quality of the Aries sign is far superior to the Martian quality of the Scorpio sign. That is why the Mula Trikon Rashi of Mars is Aries and not Scorpio. Meaning, Mars' favorite sign is Aries and not Scorpio. Scorpio Mars is secretive and also likes to hatch a plot. Scorpion Mars is shady by nature, not trustworthy. Scorpions can easily backstab. However, Aries Mars is very straight and generally will not backstab you. They will generally not take much interest in hatching a plot or winning by cheating. They will play with fairness, and that is why their victory shines like a bright star. I love Aries more than Scorpio. I can trust Aries, but I will have to think twice before trusting a typical secretive Scorpion person. Enough for now. In my next video, I will talk about Venus in Taurus. Stay happy, because God comes only to a happy soul. The way to happiness begins with your own actions. Happiness is not ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Always remember this. By hurting others, you will not find happiness. It is only by making others happy you can find your own happiness. It all begins with you. Focus within and start meditating every day. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. This holy, powerful Ganesh mantra is indeed the most effective mantra for natives having Venus in Aries sign. So chant this mantra every day and you will start experiencing the difference within. Remember, the first difference, the first change has to happen within yourself. Only then you can change your life. The key is to focus within. The key is to chant every day. The key is to let go. The key is to accept all that comes your way with a sense of gratitude. God loves those who live their life with a grateful heart. The man who says thank you from the bottom of his heart is indeed a man worth connecting. And to such a man, God comes, love comes, success comes. The whole universe is available to such a man because he has a beautiful heart, a heart that beats with gratitude, deep gratitude. Be thankful for what you have. You will end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. Always remember, a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Meditate and learn to appreciate all that you have. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.